My name's Kevin, this is Dwayne. Thanks for joining us for another DK Custom Products video. Today we're going to be doing a follow-up video on plug wires. A few weeks ago we did a video on plug wires and we got a lot of emails, a lot of questions, some comments on YouTube. And this video is to address and get more into depth on plug wires.
Right. The last video was sort of about plug wires, and we didn't really address fitment so much. So that's what we're going to talk about today. You know, what do we have that will fit your bike? We sell coil relocation kits. So a lot of our wires are pre-assembled for the coil relocation kits. Now that doesn't mean we don't have wires for your bike. So we do have wires for your bike. In fact, we have universal length wires. So what we're going to talk about today is how you determine how to get plug wires for your bike from our website. And so we'll show you this wire first. It's a 10-inch wire, works perfectly if you have a coil relocation kit. So I got a picture of that on the screen now. You'll see the wires are equal length, you know, roughly a little over 10 inches each. Now we offer these coil relocation kits for Sportsters and twin cams. So you're asking yourself, you know, I have an OEM application, one wire is longer than the other. So all you need to do, measure those wires. The universal wires we offer, they're 24 inches in length. I don't know of any OEM wires that are longer than 24 inches. For example, I got one here off a Sportster. It's about 18 to 19 inches long. You cut the 24 inches down the length, you cut it to about 18 inches for your long wire, assuming you have a Sportster. You just strip the insulation back off the universal wire. You expose that core wire, you fold it back, and you crimp that terminal on. Now, if you have a crimping tool for a 10.4 millimeter wire, it works perfectly, but in a pinch, you can use pliers and do it very delicately because it's going to be hidden beneath that silicone boot. So if it's not pretty, it just has to have a good contact. And yeah, it's as simple as that. I mean, universal length wires will fit your bike. We have these for M8s in the OEM fitment application, so no cutting to length there. But if you have a twin cam or a Sportster without a coil relocation kit, check out these wires, man. They're great. You know, we have a dyno chart. I'll pull it up here that shows just how much wires can make a difference on your bike. Now this bike, just the wires alone, brought in 5% increase in torque and 4% increase in horsepower. Now these wires were just a couple of years old. They are the OEM, I think 8 millimeter wires. So, you know, if you have brand new wires, you might not see a 5% increase, but you will see an increase without a doubt. If you upgrade to the, just to be more specific, the 409 Pro Race wires that we carry.
The other thing that when the M8 Softails came out that I did not believe was the people were saying when they put some good aftermarket wires on there, like we have, that the bikes were starting easier. They were starting faster. I didn't believe that. But then we had a bunch of bikes over the years that we swapped out the wires on, and indeed, most of them did start faster and easier. Obviously, there's some sort of deficiency in the OEM wires on the M8 Softails. Some comments that we got were that people were wondering how do they know when to replace their plug wires because they are a wear item. And they're wondering, even if they're 2 or 3 years old, maybe they're not showing any cracking in the rubber. But Chris pointed out something that we completely left out of the video, and that is the inside spiral wound core or conductor or wire that is actually carrying the spark, the electricity to the spark plug. With vibration, it can start cracking and not carry the electricity as well. So it's not just the visual inspection of the rubber or the boot, but it's actual just hundreds and hundreds or thousands of hours of that spark plug wire vibrating on the engine, being subjected to heating up and cooling down. Might not show anything on the rubber, but that core is degrading and starting to develop cracks and stress fractures and stuff like that, that impedes the spark more than it should from the getting to the spark plug.
Yeah, and something to point out, you know, these wires have a spiral wound core wire, not just a solid core wire. So that means it's going to be a little more durable and it's going to last a little longer. In addition to the core being more durable, these are 100% silicone. So, you know, it's going to be a little more restrictive to cracking and, you know, degrading over time than a rubber boot would. So if you do follow through with the purchase and get yourself the 409 Pro Race wires, do a little test. Cut open that OEM wire and just look, it kind of examine and compare to the core of the 409 Pro Race wire, and you'll see those little carbon fibers in there. On the OEM wire, everything's going to break up eventually. These are very much a consumable part, and the carbon fibers tend to break up over time with heat, vibration, everything these bikes are subjected to. So you want something that's going to hold up and do its job for longer. So there's nothing really wrong with the OEM wires other than they're not as durable as you would want them to be.
Another thing that has happened in recent years is because of the routing of the spark plug wire for the front cylinder
Right,
on some models of touring bikes, it will chafe, and it will actually, on the bottom of the tank, it rubs against the bottom of the tank, and it will actually rub through the insulation.
Yeah, so even on these rubber mounted, applications, there's still a substantial movement there. The frame and the tank's not moving. That engine's moving back and forth, and over time it can chafe the wires.
Yeah, and Harley has fixed that in recent years, but just check your bike and make sure that as that engine's moving around, that the insulation is not getting rubbed off of the factory wiring, because if it is, then that's a time that you need to replace it. And when you replace it, either route the wire a little differently or just zip tie it in place where it won't chafe against another part on the bike.
That's right. Now, if you guys have any questions at all about anything you've seen in this video, leave us a comment or shoot us an email to support@dkcustomproducts.com.
Y'all ride safe out there.